Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Spotlight, exclusively here on ATVM. So glad you could join us. I'm Dan Mowdy. Sites for Hope has been an organization here in the Lehigh Valley and Monroe County of Pennsylvania that has really reached out and helped folks with visual impairments live a pretty much normal everyday life through medical services, through wonderful assistive devices. Their website is amazing. And this is a group that has helped so many people. It's really a model for other communities to make sure that folks with visual impairments are well taken care of. And our guest tonight, we have Dennis Zahner. He is the Executive Director and CEO of Sites for Hope. Dennis, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you for having us.
And we also have Jennifer Pandolfo, the Associate Director and Director of Services. Jennifer, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you.
Before we get started, tell us a little bit about the organization, how you got involved with the organization. Did they seek you or did you seek it?
Well, I found the job just routinely while I was looking for employment. I had done some internship work during my college days working with visually impaired individuals. It was very rewarding work. So when this opportunity came along and I learned all about Sites for Hope, I jumped at the chance to get back to my roots and really be able to spend every day helping others. So it's a very rewarding job.
I'll bet it is. And Dennis, how about yourself?
Well, I had spent most of my career in the marketing and fundraising space within the nonprofit industry here in the Lehigh Valley. I came to a time where I was having a career transition, and a position opened up at what is now Sites for Hope, and it really spoke to me because of the mission. I had a grandfather who was legally blind his entire life. The man was also very brilliant. He grew up in the 1930s in Philadelphia. He was top of his class in high school despite the challenges that he had, but he was dirt poor, legally blind, and no one gave him a chance to pursue his own destiny. I've said long ago he could maybe have been a brilliant scientist, who knows? But the fact that he didn't get a chance to find his own destiny is something that really resonated with me. And when I saw this opportunity, I realized that there are people who have these disparities in their life when they have a visual impairment in terms of quality of life, independence. And I couldn't do anything for my late grandfather, but I hopefully can do things now for people who deal with these issues.
Absolutely. Sites for Hope is a very enlightening name, and I know it's had several names Jennifer had mentioned before this show leading up to this, but this one really brings some empowerment to the organization.
Absolutely. Now, your viewers may have heard, depending on how long they've been in the area, may have heard from different names. That we are actually a merger of two organizations. They were originally the Lehigh and Northampton Associations for the Blind, or Blind Association. They also eventually took on names like ABVI and Viable. In 2010, they merged, and they took on the name Center for Vision Loss at that point. And we decided in 2021 to change our name to Sites for Hope because we wanted to tell the story about the impact we make and really be a source of hope, because that's what it is. We say, our clients often say, we often say to our clients, we can get you to do anything but drive a car. So when you say life almost completely normal, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do. And the feedback has been phenomenal since we've changed our name.
Excellent. As far as you have things that kind of are empowering with statements, the mission statement, the vision statement, and so on.
Yes. Well, our mission statement is to provide people with visual impairments the skills, the sites, and the supports and solutions that empower them to be independent. I'm flubbing over the actual statement right now, but it's basically for their own independence and success. Our vision is really the core of what we do, and that's where we're removing barriers for people with visual impairments and blindness, and so that they can pursue their own success and independence for themselves, and having that quality of life that they deserve to have. Unfortunately, when there are too often people who have a visual impairment experience a lot of disparities in how they live their lives in terms of quality of life. Now, this manifests in a variety of ways. One is probably the most obvious. It's how you go about your daily life. Another way is about access to important things such as medical care and food and important services. There are also challenges with one's mental well-being. And when you deal with youngsters who have a visual impairment, when they're very young, they're not as ready to learn and be as successful in school. And we're taking on those challenges. That's really why our call to action to help with those issues.
Excellent. So many things bring folks to Sites for Hope, I would imagine. Ocular situations, other diseases, birth defects, accidents. It's really an amazingly diverse community, it seems.
Yes, absolutely. Any type of eye condition that limits people's vision, from glaucoma to macular degeneration, as well as brain injuries and strokes, like you said, accidents. And we see all kinds of incidents and accidents that happen to people's vision.
Absolutely. What are some of the challenges and some of the things that Sites for Hope help to overcome?
Well, so as we said, it's really those disparities there are a lot of disparities in the quality of life, and we really hit on those, especially the daily life activities, real access to care, which is a huge thing, and again, we try to help people live a normal, adjusted life, but there's also an emotional component. A lot of our clients start like you or I, and then something happens, like Jennifer said, or they have a crash, or they have a stroke, or something happens, and it's suddenly a very big change in one's life. And it can be very emotional experience. So we also help the mental health aspect as much as we can. And again, we are looking into, with schools, we're working with actually pre-K children to make sure that they have what they need. So when they hit the schoolroom, they're ready to learn. Too many school children get into a classroom, kindergarten children get into a classroom not ready and not ever having an eye exam, and it sets them off on a bad foot right away.
And that's something that's provided for free by Sites for Hope, which is an amazing service. Programs and services, I know there are so many. Maybe we can start them in this segment and carry on for the next.
Sure, no problem. At Sites for Hope, we offer, the biggest service that we offer is transportation. So we offer transportation to any medical doctor or appointment in the area, as well as food access, like the grocery store, the food pantry, the bank, and the pharmacy. And our drivers are sighted guides, so they will help our clients get safely out of their home to their destination and back safely home. It is not a drop-off and pickup, but it is an assistance program that our clients have and that our drivers are helpful with. We also have caseworkers that help our clients read their mail, pay their bills, fill out any type of applications, and really help refer them to any other type of services that they may need.
Excellent. So you have the access to the professionals that day in and day out work with people with visual disabilities and such. Fantastic, Jennifer. Well, we're going to take a quick break here and be back to talk more about these wonderful programs and services offered by Sites for Hope. Again, it's at sitesforhope.org. Feel free to get online while you're watching the show and take a look at this marvelous website. The accessibility is built right in as well. Stay with us on Community Spotlight. Empowerment and independence, two of the goals of Sites for Hope. It's an organization that serves the folks here in Lehigh and Northampton and Monroe counties in the middle eastern and northeastern parts of Pennsylvania. Our guest again, Dennis Zahner. He is the executive director and CEO of this wonderful organization. We also have Jennifer Pandolfo, the associate director, also is the director of services for the organization. We were talking about some of the great programs, and it was interesting to find out during that break that schools are not quite getting to where maybe they need to be as far as screenings go early enough in a child's life.
Correct. So we offer vision screenings for kids. Most of the screenings we do are between the ages of 0 and 6. So we're entering daycares and preschools, summer camps, things like that, to screen kids with a special camera that takes a picture of a child's eye in about 2 or 3 seconds. And it picks up any disparities, or they might be nearsighted, farsighted. And then we work with those families to be able to get the child professional eye care and hopefully glasses. So the idea is that these kids will be ready educationally before they enter kindergarten, and that if once they get to school, it's a little too late to be screened and to be by the school to be screened for vision problems, because once they are screened by the nurse, it isn't in the same fashion, and they may not pick up some of the same eye conditions that our screening does, and the child is already in school learning, and they may be put behind because they're not ready to learn if they don't have the right vision glasses or eye care.
Yeah.
Worse yet, they may actually be misdiagnosed with having a behavioral disability or a learning disorder, which can also set their destiny in a way that it shouldn't be.
Losing vision is not reserved for old age, from what I understand. There are degenerative diseases even at young ages, unfortunately.
Yes, diabetes will take your eyesight and cause you to have diabetic retinopathy at any age. Glaucoma, macular degeneration are traditionally diseases that happen to older people, but we see plenty of people who are young who suffer from these diseases as well.
So these screenings are tremendously important.
Right.
And it's a great service that you can offer. Some of the other programs and services that are available through Sites of Hope?
Oh, so we also offer a lot of life skill classes. We do one-on-one individual life skills, but we also do groups in which we teach our clients how to live with their visual impairment. So it might be cooking, it might be writing, using the right lighting, how to use our technology with our devices. It could be orientation and mobility, how to get around their space, or how to just do basic daily living skills. We also offer a variety of different social opportunities for our clients to come out and become social with other people. Being visually impaired has isolated a lot of our clients, unfortunately, and they become depressed and they become isolated. So this offers them the opportunity to get together and get to know each other, make friends, and not feel so alone. We also offer some mental health components. We offer some support groups in which, again, the group comes together and is facilitated to be able to talk about the emotionality of losing their vision loss, as well as some one-on-one counseling that is offered through our facility in order to help people get past and have a new outlook on life or a new perception about what their life reality has become.
Absolutely. You were kind enough to bring some of the devices that are really a key to helping empower folks and making them more independent. Can you tell us about some of the ones that are here on the table?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a low vision program at the site, at Sites for Hope, and we offer a store which offers a variety of different devices, everything from magnifiers to sunglasses, KitchenAids. But the ones that I brought today are traditional hand magnifier that lights up, that allows someone to be able to read their mail or a letter. But then it proceeds on to more professional, like electronic magnifiers, which you can change the magnification. So as your eye disease progresses, you can change it, or sometimes people, depending on the light of the day, they may need more or less magnification. So it's a pretty cool tool. It grows with you and your eye condition.
Fantastic.
And then we move on to even more higher technology. This is called OrCam, and it is a camera that clips magnetically on the side of your glasses, and it takes pictures of whatever's in front of it, and it will read out loud orally what it sees. So it recognizes faces, it recognizes the printed word, dollar bills, barcodes, colors, things like that. So this is really very great tool for our clients who are completely blind.
I had no idea
because
that existed.
yes, so
And
they're
the name
able to
again
see.
is?
OrCam. And then we also have a line of other wearable technology that we have that use virtual reality technology. So you wear it just like virtual reality glasses, but instead of it, it does talk to you, but it more uses the vision that you have left. So if you have macular degeneration or glaucoma, it brings whatever you're looking at really close to your eyes so that maybe you're able to see it. Some of our clients do not have peripheral vision, so it brings what's in the peripheral light into the center. So it really kind of uses that virtual technology to be able to see what they maybe couldn't see before, such as the newspaper or letters in the mail. It's
good to see the application of high tech to something other than a video game.
Exactly.
That's a fantastic device. What about mental health? Dennis, you had mentioned that kind of permeates through let me put it this way. It's probably one of the biggest challenges that almost anybody with a visual impairment might face. It can be almost as devastating as loss of vision itself, it sounds.
In many cases, it's more devastating. A lot of our clients had lives in which they had particularly normal sight or vision, like you or I have, and something will happen, whether, again, it's a stroke or a disease, something would happen, a condition, and it can sometimes happen overnight, sometimes can happen gradually over a few months. but it's sometimes akin to a loss in your life. I've heard it talked about akin to a loss of a loved one or family member, where one literally goes through the same stages of grief one would go through, starting with denial, et cetera, et cetera. Many times we find that that's really we talk about removing barriers. Sometimes that's the biggest barrier of all, is just accepting that yes, this thing has happened to you, but your life is not over. Your life can be as full and rich as you want it to be. You just have to do it in a different way. You have to be more creative sometimes. But that's really the biggest shift that a lot of our clients have to make. Once they make that shift, they have a wonderful future ahead of them, and a lot of the work is easy at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that you're taking care of not only the physical ailment, but also the psyche as well. It's a lot to be said for that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, this organization continues to move forward in big ways. They have some major goals that they'd like to share with our audience. Stay with us on Community Spotlight. And welcome back to Community Spotlight. Our focus is on Sites for Hope, and you can find out more at sitesforhope.org. We're here with Dennis and Jennifer talking about not just the programs and services, but also the goals that they would love to meet. Tell us a little bit about some of them, and they're definitely within reach, but they need some help from the community.
Right. When we established our strategic plan last year, we thought long and hard about our organization and what it means and what we want to do. And we want to be defined by the impact we make, making the deepest possible impact on the lives of the people we serve. So we came out with 4 bold goals, or 4 big impact goals as we call them. And they combine what we do best, what our clients want most, and what makes the biggest impact. The first of which is to provide these wonderful assistive technology devices to 2,500 people with visual impairments. Now, some of these are very expensive items because of how they're made. Right now, 42% of our clients are at or near the poverty line. You take that to 300% of the poverty line, you're at 84% of our clientele. It's a clientele that often doesn't have the financial resources to purchase one of these or make that investment. So we're looking to find ways and work through funders to provide these. That's a lot about the life, that's about the daily living. Our third goal is also about daily living. That's about the life skills education. Once you have the means through the devices, we can teach you the skills to live independently. So our goal there is to provide 2,500 people with life skills education. All of these goals are between 2022 and 2030. So we're a few months in right now. Yeah. We also have a goal we talked about transportation and access, to provide 25,000 guided transports throughout our 3-county area between now and 2030. And the last one is one that's kind of tender to my heart, is to ensure that 2,500 kids age 0 to 6 receive an eye exam or glasses before they start school. We've been making a lot of headway right now with partnerships with Pennsylvania Vision Foundation, VSP, St. Luke's University Health Network. We're really working on doing that. We have done a great job with our screenings through the years, but too often our team has found that the kids don't end up getting the care they need. And often access and finances are a reason cited as why. So we're trying to knock down that barrier, and we're really about being about solutions. That's been a charge of the organization, is if we're not just serving, we're creating solutions.
Absolutely. You mentioned transports. Is that something that folks in the community, around your community, can be a part of?
We're always looking for volunteer drivers. Now, we do have vehicles that we prefer that you use because of insurance reasons and such. But yes, we have our team of transporters are all part-time, and there's not enough of them. We could probably double the number of rides we give if we had the personnel to do it. And through volunteering, yes, we have volunteer drivers, and it's a very rewarding experience.
And then there's a question of funding. Where does the money come to help folks acquire devices that they need for everyday life?
Sure. Well, about 40% of our funding is private, through donations, through companies and individuals. We do receive government funding, and we do receive proceeds from the sale of these devices. Now, some of these sales are underwritten by the state. But we also have an endowment foundation that helps us operate. But it really is talking really about people like you, me, companies out there who want to support this great institution. we get the most out of what we do, and with the support that we have. We talked a little bit earlier about the screenings. Our cost to do a screening is $15.
Wow.
And if you do it right, you can change a child's destiny for $15. Nowhere else can you do that. A pair of glasses and an eye exam is $150 roughly. Again, how can you profoundly change someone else's life for that? Mm-hmm. And we think about, we want to be those to serve at what maybe in some people's mind their darkest hour, what they need most, and we're there to give it to them.
We're showing you the contact information on your screen. Please pick up the phone, go on their website, sightsforhope.org. On the website, you'll see those accessibility tools built in for folks that do have visual impairment. You can change the background, the font, the size, all kinds of things there, which is just amazing. Your activities for folks that are part of the community are amazing. Client group meetings, tech talks, mall walks, braille courses, baking, crafting, music gatherings, and concerts, and a fundraising concert that you guys host in June, it sounds like.
Right, we do an annual. We've been doing an annual concert called Songs for Sight. We've been doing it in partnership with Arts Quest and Provident Bank. But we also have a client band. Our clients have formed an actual band where they play basically classic rock music. And you know, Jennifer and her team are great with putting on great activities. Sometimes I want to join the activities even though I'm not a client.
And we also try to do fun activities to keep people as active as possible. Yeah. You know, we've done things such as whitewater rafting and zip lining and things of that nature, as well as bowling and crafts, just to keep people as active, to give a variety of people different options to do, but to show people that they don't have to stop living and doing the things they used to do just because they lost their vision.
Yeah, some great activities, including the visiting of wineries.
Yes,
one of my favorites.
That's always fun.
Yes.
It's a popular one.
Great stuff. Well, a fantastic organization, and I hope some of the folks who are watching will be supporting members soon. Sights for Hope is the name of the organization. Sightsforhope.org is the way to be in contact with the good folks there, such as Dennis and Jennifer. I'm Dan Mouty. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. Good night, everyone.